Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the latest in FAMU news here at HBCU Game Day. All right, so in case you missed it, the big news came out Saturday afternoon. Florida A&M has named its 19th head coach in its football history, a very storied football history, and it is the interim coach getting the promotion, James Colzie III. Man, we went around the bend and back again, but James Colzie will take over for the departed Willie Simmons as Florida A&M University's next head coach. So we went through a search committee. The search committee turned out that what you have in-house is the way that you should go. Now, there was a lot of talk, a lot of things out in the streets about where FAMU might go. We heard Fred McNair's name pop up after the initial proposal of hiring the Fort Valley State head coach seemed to go down. And now it is the turn for James Colzie III. Let's take a look at his resume. It's a pretty extensive resume. He was an outstanding player at Florida State University back during the early 90s. This is your daddy's Florida State when it was still a dominant program. And then he starts his coaching career in 2002. This is about 5 years after he wrapped up his playing career for the Seminoles. He goes to Florida International, where he was an assistant special teams coordinator there. He goes back to Florida State for 3 seasons as a graduate assistant. And then he goes over to the baby SEC for a while, Valdosta State, in 2007, and then from 2008 to 2011, he spends 4 seasons at West Georgia, where he was the assistant head coach and defensive coordinator there. A brief stop at Southern Arkansas, and then he goes north, like north. Simon Fraser, that's in Canada. He comes back to Coffeyville Community College in 2014, and then is back to Canada for a 7-year stint. First at British Columbia and then at St. Mary's, where he gets his first position as head coach at St. Mary's College, St. Mary's University. Just go with St. Mary's there in Canada from 2016 until 2021. He lands at Florida A&M in 2022, coaching defensive backs. He gets moved up to assistant head coach in 2023, still coaching the defensive backs, the position that he played. And now in 2024, he is the head coach for Florida A&M University. All right, coming up on Monday, we're going to have a special edition really breaking down this hire, going through the timeline because there is a lot to unpack there. FAMU, you had Willie Simmons offer his resignation officially on January 1st. There was a lot of power packed, on paper at least, on that roster for FAMU. They suffered some losses, some people decommitting from FAMU, lost some really big names, lost some key personnel on that staff in recruiting. But now it's time to put the pieces back together for Florida A&M. We're going to talk about that more with Vaughn Wilson on Monday. All right, let's take a look at that complete schedule for FAMU. Now that we know who the coach is going to be, we can talk with a little more confidence when we talk about what we think might happen in the prognostication of the 2024 schedule. So opening things up, August 24th, Norfolk State. You got South Carolina State on the 31st. September 7th is the U, Miami. September 21st is Troy. Hey, that's a tough schedule. First month, you got Dawson Odoms. He knows a thing or two about coaching football. Chinnis Berry taking over at South Carolina State. It's going to be a lot of excitement with those Bulldogs. Miami and Troy, you kind of know the deal there. We've talked about the conference schedule, but just again, September 28th, you got Alabama A&M at home. You go to Alabama State on October 5th. And then on the backside, the final 6 of the schedule at Jackson State, Southern at home. You got Texas Southern at home. You go to Prairie View A&M, Mississippi Valley State, and then, of course, the Florida Blue, Florida Classic with what could be a up-and-coming Bethune-Cookman under the second year of Coach Woody there on November 23rd to end the regular season. Will it be a trip back to the SWAC championship game and the Celebration Bowl for FAMU? Well, we got a long way to go before we can find that out. But we do know James Colzie III is the 19th head coach in FAMU football history. It's been a dramatic month for the Rattlers in the month of January. Can Colzie get it back on track and everyone on the same page and pointed in the same direction heading into the month of February and that big part 2 of National Signing Day that is just on the horizon? Can you kind of recoup some of the things that you might have lost that was in and out of the portal before you knew it there at FAMU? So look forward to the big show on Monday. We'll be going through the comments. You'll be a part of the show as always, and Vaughn Wilson will be bringing his expertise of all things FAMU down from Tallahassee. All right, enjoy the rest, what remains of that weekend. I'm Tolly Carr for HBCU Game Day.